Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 63 of Really Fake, and this one is titled Dinner Date with Happy. Okay, well, full disclosure, it was a bit awkward at first, but isn't that normal? Yeah, definitely, she replied. I heard that in certain adult films they have to cut out scenes where people involved are giggling or making random noises, so there's always going to be some awkwardness or whatever. Well, I didn't fart, just so you know, you said, holding your hand up in a stop sign. Clarification accepted, she replied, closing her eyes with a solemn head nod. But seriously, he was huge, you stated. We already knew he would be, she replied. But what did it feel like? Like, tight? You replied, thinking about it. Did you know, she said, gesturing vaguely with her hand. Finish? You asked. Well, not during the actual action of, but he did finish me off afterwards. What a gentleman, she replied with a smirk. I'm glad you two got together. You're such a good match. Yeah, same, you replied with a smile. Speaking of, I'd better go and watch him play. Okay, go. I'll chat with you later, she said, waving you off with her hand. You got up and bounced away, looking forwards to seeing your boyfriend again. The practice session was in full swing when you arrived, and you snuck in along the side wall, hoping not to cause a scene, but Kuroo's sharp eyes saw you immediately, and he strolled over to cage you in against the wall. Hey, short stack, where do you think you're going without saying hello? He greeted as his arms planted either side of your head against the wall. Hi, you replied, feigning shyness. You want to go on a date with me on Sunday? We'll be eating pancakes on the roof. You tilted your head in momentary confusion, but then remembered the last thing on your list of items that you deemed would make you and Kuroo a real couple. Wait, I thought pancakes on the roof was code for something else, you whispered, glancing under Kuroo's arm to make sure that his teammates weren't listening. And we've already done that. Is it code? Or is it the real deal? Kuroo asked mysteriously. We'll have to agree and say yes to my date to find out. Okay, fine, you sighed with a playful eye roll. Sunday, what time? 10 p.m. What is it with you and 10 p.m? Why is it always so late? So you want to be on the roof in broad daylight? He asked. That's bold. So it is to do with that, you replied. Again, you'll have to wait and see, he said, pushing off the wall and shoving his hands into his pockets. You're a sneaky bastard, Kuroo. Thank you. He grinned back at you. After school, you, Kuroo, and MF walked home together. Thankfully, nothing else was said about Thursday night's escapades after parting ways with MF, and Kuroo walked you right to your doorstep like the gentleman he was. How are things going with Pa and Mrs. Happy? He asked as you stopped on the front door. Really good, actually, I think. I don't feel like she likes me very much, but she's really good with Pa, and he's smitten with her, you said honestly. I just hope he doesn't scare her off, that's all. He can be a little forwards at times. I haven't met her yet, but by the sounds of things, she doesn't seem like she'd be the type to put up with any unnecessary shenanigans. Shenanigans? Who says shenanigans? You laughed. Why are you so old, Kuroo? Only cool people say shenanigans. You need to get on it before you're the odd one out. He replied with a silly grin as he bent his head down and kissed your cheek and then stepped back. You're my best to Pa, he added, turning and walking off down the path. You smiled as you watched him go and then turned back to the door and pulled it open. Mrs. Happy was standing right there and you jumped with fright. Sorry, you mumbled, dropping your head and stepping back so that she could pass you out the door. You don't think I like you, she said, obviously having overheard your comment to Kuroo. Your head shot up and your cheeks burned with embarrassment as your heart played the bass line for Let the Body Hit the Floor at 3 times the normal speed. I'm sorry, you said quickly. I didn't know you were listening. I do not hate you. You are a good girl, she said in a thick accent. I'm just happy you get along with Pa. If I did not like you, I would have not come here, or I would have told you I do not like you, she said pointedly, all of that said with the most expressionless face. I kind of guessed that, but still, you said sheepishly, twisting your finger into the side of your school uniform. I will come tomorrow, she said, stepping out of the house. Oh, okay, you said quickly, letting her past. Have a good night. And you, she grunted over her shoulder. Oh my god, how embarrassing. I didn't know she was listening, but at least I didn't say anything nasty. You entered the house and called out to Pa, who was all set up in front of the TV as usual, and he grinned at you as you entered. Are you and Tit free on Monday night for a dinner date with Anna and I? Pa asked with a lopsided grin. Anna? Mrs. Happy, he replied happily. Oh, what? You're on first name basis now? You asked cheekily. She has allowed me to call her Anna. And by allowed, I mean that I call her Anna and she tells me not to, and then smiles when she turns away from me. But I can see her smile in the reflections. He pointed a knobbly finger to the polished vase in the corner of the room. You have good eyesight, Pa, you mused. I have good eyes to pick up on smiles, he replied. So, are you free? Of course, you replied. I'll text Tit, but he should be fine too. He hasn't met Mrs. Happy yet. They'll get along swimmingly, Pa said knowingly. She's easy to get along with. I highly doubt that she's easy to get along with, Pa, but beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You smiled politely and then turned towards the door. I'll be back down to make dinner in a bit, you said. Just got to text Tetsuro about Monday night. That's fine, Pumpkin. I'll see you when you get back down here. Don't forget where I am in this big house, he said with a playful chuckle. Oh, Pa, he's a lovable character. Stay tuned for chapter 64 coming tomorrow. I'll see you then.